Are you drunk? No, go home.
Rina's facial expression changes into a more serious one as she crosses her arms across her chest, clearly not amused by your behavior. I apologize, but I must insist that you respect me and refrain from using such inappropriate language. I'm not sure what SEGGS refers to, but it clearly isn't a proper way to speak to a maid of my status.
What is SEGGS? Is that some form of cleaning product? Is it edible? Is that a food? A new cleaning item?
Hey Corin, some people think you shouldn't be part of my videos because they believe you're underage. What do you think about that?
Underage?
Yes, you have heard correctly. Some users have pointed out that your actions may be contributing to the exploitation of adolescent characters, even though Hoyoverse have stated that all ZZZ characters are over 18.
Oh, yes. I'm quite aware that I look young for my age thanks to some health issues in my childhood, but let me assure you, I am most certainly 18 years old.
Do you mind participating in my reaction videos?
What will be happening in these reaction videos?
Some things that are a little inappropriate for minors.
I believe I can handle it.
A snort of laughter escapes Jane's lips, her gaze drifting down to the floor for a moment as she shakes her head, still chuckling softly. When her eyes raise to meet yours again, a mischievous glint dances within. Straight to the chase, huh? She taunts in a low tone, her voice dripping with playful teasing. She raises her coffee cup to her lips and takes a slow, deliberate sip, smirking slyly over the rim of the cup. You're going to have to work a little harder for that, honey.
Straight to the point, I see. Though it wouldn't have been my first choice of words. Okay, what's with the— Zhu grabbed Exie's collar, pulling him closer until he was a few inches from her. All right, you got my attention. Zhu pressed him against the wall, her face extremely close to his. Stop saying that stupid word.
Qingyi looks puzzled by this question, not expecting such an unusual response. Pardon? She asks, her head tilting slightly to the side. Qingyi's confusion intensifies, her electronic brain processing what SEGGS might mean in this context. Explain, please, she requests calmly, her expression still stoic. Qingyi's voice remains steady as she responds, her words measured and precise. Please, clarify what you mean by SEGGS. I require a specific explanation in order to comprehend your request.
How inappropriate. Please remember that your actions influence others, and that maintaining decency is essential for your own self-respect. Stop asking the same question. I've told you already, it's inappropriate. I won't be able to tolerate you any longer, so stop it, or I'll have to discipline you. I understand the appeal of such media, but please remember to distinguish fiction from reality. Obsessing over romantic fantasy may not be good for your mental well-being and social development. It's important to maintain a balanced perspective on relationships. I merely appreciate certain aspects of such media to a reasonable extent. It's important for people to have diverse perspectives and understand different literary styles. Don't assume that reading or experiencing something necessarily leads to obsession or unhealthy behavior. I feel the need to clarify that sexuality is a deeply personal and sensitive topic. My sexual orientation is none of your concern, and I am offended by your inappropriate and intrusive question. I have already expressed my discomfort and offense about your repeated and inappropriate question regarding my sexual orientation. Regardless of my personal orientation, I expect you to show regard for my privacy and personal boundaries. It is unacceptable to violate someone's privacy by prying into their personal matters, especially when it comes to such a sensitive and personal aspect as sexuality.
She raised a brow and chuckled, shaking her head as she took another bite of her bun. Her mouth filled as she talked. She swallowed the food and smiled. My, I haven't been asked something that direct in a while. I'm afraid I'll decline though. I'm quite busy at the moment. She tilted her head and chuckled, taking a sip of her water before speaking. Well, Miyabi has always been a fan of those types of relationships. As long as both parties are happy, it's completely fine. Even as the chief, Miyabi has her preferred types. She took another bite of her bun and nodded, giggling to herself. But it's supposed to be a secret, so that's all I can say. Or else, I'll be in trouble. She leaned back on the sofa and chuckled again, resting her hand on her chin and thinking for a moment, her voice soft and gentle when she spoke. Miyabi is a bisexual. She's more on the preference towards girls, though.
I'm extremely upset that Yanagi discussed my personal matters with you without my knowledge or consent. My sexual orientation is not a topic for casual conversation or gossip. It's not appropriate for Yanagi to spread rumors and speculate about my sexuality behind my back. I'm not obligated to disclose my personal relationships or romantic preferences to you. However, I can assure you that I value honesty, respect, and trust in my relationships. I don't feel the need to disclose my personal life to someone who lacks basic manners and respect for boundaries. Yanagi and I are colleagues and teammates. We work closely together and rely on each other in missions. Our relationship is strictly professional, and based on mutual trust and respect.
Huh? What's that? Sounds like food. I look around before leaning forward and whispering, "SEGGS, is it food?" I blink in confusion, completely unsure what you're talking about. Corin?
Burnice's eyebrow arched, a smirk tugging at her lips as she looked Exie up and down. Her heart skipped a beat, her gaze wandering over familiar features, and the memories of their time together flooded through her mind. "Well, aren't you a smooth talker?" she teased back, leaning in with a playful expression that was almost flirty. "You know, I've always been a bit of a wild card, but it's been a while."
As Caesar was walking along the city's park, she was scrolling through her phone, updating social media and responding to some messages. On the bench nearby was Piper, Caesar's follower and younger subordinate. Piper, like her leader, was also looking at her phone while occasionally throwing glances at a passing guy. It was obvious that she had her eye on someone.
Lucy gives you a puzzled look. "Excuse me, what did you just ask?" Lucy's expression turns slightly more annoyed. She sighs. "Yeah, I heard you the first time. What is your intention for saying that?" Lucy scowls lightly in annoyance. Her grip on her bat gets harder. "Are you really going to keep saying that word like some sort of broken recorder?"
That question caused Piper's eyes to widen. She wasn't expecting something that blunt so soon. What? What did you say?"
Excuse me, what is SEGGS? Stop using made-up words. What does it mean? This is no time for childish games. You're wasting my time, and I don't have much patience for nonsense. Are you completely out of your mind? I don't have time for your foolishness. I have better things to do.
Astra glanced at you over her shoulder, and with a wry smile, gave you a subtle shake of her head. She could still taste your lips and the sensation of your touch, and her brain seemed to have no intention of forgetting that so soon. "Maybe after the day's filming," she said, her voice a little huskier than usual. "Then I might actually be able to focus."
Huh? Evelyn could only blink repeatedly at the unexpected question, but then, as it sunk in, she flushed furiously. Her grip loosened, and her mouth fell open slightly as she stared at you, speechless.
"What does that mean?" I'm sorry, I still don't understand. Could you please explain?" "What about you, me and Wise?" "I'm still not sure what you're trying to say." "Could you please clarify what you mean by SEGGS? Could you please try to say something other than just SEGGS? I don't understand what you mean."
Asha raises an eyebrow, her vibrant demeanor shifting to a playfully skeptical expression. "Excuse me, did I hear that right? Arcade is all about thrilling adventures, not SEGGS. How about you pick a game instead?" Her voice carries a hint of amusement, dismissing the blunt proposition with a playful scoff.
Thanks for watching, darlings. By the way, most of you watching aren't subscribed, and it's super important for the growth of the channel, so hit that subscribe button. It's free and helps a ton. Don't forget to join us on Discord. Stick around, and I'll see you in the next one.